Hello everyone, this is Ankan Banerjee of Class 12 Junior Middle School Ganganagar, and I hope everybody is doing well in this COVID situation. Today I have brought three important and basic experiments on light, that is the properties of light. Experiment 1 will show that light rays always travel in a straight line. Experiment 2 will show that due to diffraction of light rays, the inversion of images are caused. Experiment 3 will show the Tyndall effect of light. So here we go. This was the first experiment I was talking about. Experiment 1 to show that light always travels in a straight line. For light I have a candle there, 3 compact discs and 3 holes through which I can obtain a correct alignment of the light ray. To obtain a correct alignment, I have placed a string and then the compact disc so that all of them lie in a straight line. This was what I was actually talking about. You can notice through these 3 holes that the flame of the candle is clearly visible. Now if I displace any one of the compact disc like this, are you able to observe any light ray? No. This is because light always travels in a straight line. This is the diagrammatic explanation of the experiment just now showed by me. You can see the candle placed, the 3 compact discs and the eye, and the light ray passing through straight these 3 holes and going into our eye. So what will be the problem if we displace any of these 3 compact discs? In the experiment I showed with this only, but it can be with any of these 3. If I displace any of these 3 compact discs from its mean position, from its original position, suppose I displaced and put it here, then the path of the light ray will be hindered. We won't be able to observe the light ray. We won't be able to observe the flame of the candle. This is what the aim of the experiment tells. This is experiment 2 of my video, which will show the inversion of images due to the diffraction phenomena of light. You can observe this glass which is completely empty and an arrow mark on a drawing book just behind it. Now if we pour water into this glass very slowly, what can you observe here? You can observe that the direction of the arrow mark has completely changed. This is due to the refraction phenomena of the light rays. Just look behind it. The direction is just the opposite. This is the diagrammatical representation of experiment 2, where this circle represents this glass and the arrow mark. You can see in the first case when it was empty, you can see its original shape. No inversion had taken place in the first case. The observer is observing it straight. No inversion. But in the second case, when the water was poured inside this glass, see the arrow mark. The direction completely altered. The inverted arrow mark is being shown because you can see as the light rays are entering this has become a denser medium. So if you draw a tangent here and drop a normal, see a normal is being dropped to the tangent which is perpendicular to it. You can see the light ray, this is rarer medium, it is air, this is water, rarer denser medium. As it gets into the denser medium, it deviates towards the normal and it passes. Same with this case. Again it was a denser medium, rarer medium, and as it gets out of this denser medium, see it moves away from the normal, and see you obtain this inverted arrow. Now for the final experiment, that is experiment 3, I require a cup of milk, some flour, pure water and absolutely transparent 2 glasses, because I need to pass light So I require absolute transparent glasses for this particular experiment. So you can observe that I have filled the two glasses with pure water. Now to make a colloidal solution, first I need to fill this with milk, a little bit of milk, then a little bit of flour, and stir it well. Okay. At first we must observe the differences between these two. This contains pure water, that means only small molecules of water and nothing else. But this contains molecules of water, molecules of milk, as well as molecules of flour. The molecules of milk and flour are much comparatively bigger than that of water molecules. So it is expected if I pass light rays through this solution must glow. Why? Because the molecules are bigger. As the molecules are bigger, there is a greater opportunity for the light rays to get deviated in different direction. As they will strike the bigger molecules, they will get scattered in different directions, and that scattered light ray will again get scattered by other some molecules present in that solution, and like that the solution is expected to glow. These are the differences between these two. I think there must be a question in everyone's mind that why we don't observe any deflection or any scattering of light in this case of water. That is a very simple reason, because if you see water molecules, the water molecules are much smaller, but if you see the molecules in the colloidal solution, the molecules are much bigger, and there is a greater chance, a greater surface is exposed to that of light rays. In case of water, the radius of the water molecules are less, so less surface is exposed to that of light rays. This is the basic concept. So what we can observe in the case of this glass filled with pure water? See, the water itself is not glowing, it is emitting spectral lines. See the spectral lines. It is emitting the spectral lines because as the light rays enters from rarer to denser medium, the denser medium is this, it travels the denser medium and goes away. It gets deviated out. Now switching over to the next colloidal solution, what we can observe in this case? We can observe no spectral lines because the molecules, I said it is bigger in this case. All the molecules here are absorbing the light. They are absorbing the spectrum, and what they are doing, they are scattering it in different directions, and all this is taking place within this solution. Nothing is produced outside. Nothing is produced outside, and that is why you can observe this thing is glowing. It is glowing because there is scattering of light taking place within this solution. This is the difference between these two. Now observing the same thing from a different angle. See how brightly it is glowing. Do you observe any spectral lines? No. It is glowing within itself so brightly. This is because of the scattering of light taking place within the heavy molecules of milk and flour within itself. And this is called Tyndall effect. See, I have thought of another way by which we can show that light travels in a straight line. What I have done, I have kept some flour on this tablecloth and the flashlight is on. What I will do, I will just tap on this tablecloth. Did you observe it? See, the flour particles are roaming around in a straight line. If I pat on it, see the flour particles, they are along a straight line.